Hello, I'm Greg, and welcome to my channel, Midnight Oil Software. Joining me today is Klaus, Manny, and Jeff. This is our weekly mastermind meeting, and hopefully today the audio is working a lot better. So if anybody's watching this, please let us know in the chat if the audio is indeed working. So how y'all doing?
We're good?
Yeah, good.
Y'all,
Good. Yeah, good today.
good. Y'all got some fun stuff to show off?
I mean, I worked out some stuff. Not all of it is showable at this point.
Cool. So I don't know if Max will be joining us. Hopefully he will.
Yeah, he wrote in that he's not joining us today.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Yeah, I see it. All right, cool. Well, who wants to go first?
I can jump in with something from last week.
Cool.
Remember we talked about addressables?
Yep.
And I was confused because I didn't quite understand whether or not it caches locally or whatever goes on. And I said, well, maybe you can shift your stuff to the resources folder, which that's
And
standard
streaming
folder,
assets you mentioned too.
Yeah. I actually went back and I looked at addressables, which I didn't know very well. And with addressables, one of the first things it actually does is when you switch your stuff over to addressables, it moves it out of the resources folder. Because the resources folder, basically, when Unity builds, it just takes the resources folder as it is, whether or not that asset is actually used in the game or not. So that's an incredible.
Well, that would make sense. Because the whole purpose of addressables is you don't want to load them until you need them. So
that's it. Yeah. I've actually had a build before that I could make a lot smaller by just taking stuff out of addressables that was never used.
Yeah. So I did play around with that some more last week, and I got the cloud content delivery stuff working. So that I'm going to actually do a series of videos on how to create an audio manager, music and sound effects manager, but I'm going to start very basic, the way I've always usually done it in my tutorials, where I'll have like a singleton, audio manager, sound effects manager, music manager. And then I'm going to do a little bit more advanced and show how you can use dependency injection and a signal bus to decouple things. And then I'm going to go a little bit more advanced and show how you can use addressables so that you're only loading the assets when you need them to make your load times faster. But then I'm going to take that a step farther in the next video and show how to use content cloud delivery so that you're not even shipping the sounds, the music and the sounds with your game. They're just hosted on the cloud and you just grab them when you need them through cloud content delivery. So I think that'd be a good progression to take people from beginner to advanced with audio management and Unity. So I'm looking forward to that project.
Yeah.
If you're focusing on audio and audio loading, you probably should also take into account what kind of sounds we're loading. So, for example, if you are loading something that needs intention, and that would be something that you should load at the beginning of the level, so that it's there when you need it. Would be an interesting point as well.
Yeah, and that could all be built into the scene loading logic too, to go out and grab that in the background, like when you're on your title screen or something, go grab things that you're going to need immediately. Another thing that I want to cover, and I'll probably cover this in the very first video, is using audio mixer groups and snapshots to smoothly transition between different mixes. So like if you're just exploring around peacefully, you have some peaceful music to shuffle. But then if you encounter an enemy, I'll transition to a combat snapshot that will pull the combat music up and pull the peaceful music down. And I'll show how to wire up UIs too to configure your audio mixes. So I think it's going to be a fun series. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and share this. I think I can post this whole thing in the chat. So there is the Unity Awards going on. Let me share my screen real quick. Unity Award nominations are going on right now, and I would be absolutely delighted if people would nominate my channel for Best Newcomer for Unity content. Let's see. Yes, right here. Best newcomer for Unity content. You know, just put YouTube/@ Midnight Oil Software. And then they have a category here for best tutorial series, and I would just love it. I wouldn't mind at all if people nominated my Make a 3D Space Shooter in Unity tutorial for that category.
Can you link that? Because when I do a search on Unity Awards, it brings up the 2021 ones first.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna post a link for this. Where am I? I think I just closed that thing. Yeah, let me stop presenting here, and I will find that link and I will share it. Here we go. Okay, so I will post that in our chat here. And then I will post it in the channel chat. While I'm doing that, anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
I don't have anything to show this week.
Nothing?
No, not really.
Okay.
Well, I have a little bit. I have a couple links to share. I think I'll start with those. I mean, some of these are obvious. You've probably seen these, but I think yesterday they came out with the Unity Asset Store free assets again.
Yeah.
And so I'll post that. I haven't seen all of that yet. And I also, let me see if I can find this here. Yeah. I don't know when this came out, but someone started posting, and I think they're probably, it's a Thomas Brush type deal maybe, but you know, this place called 5K indiedev started posting some information, and I know they're going to do classes about you know, kind of marketing games or building games that are you know, sustainable. But they have a couple of free lectures, and apparently there's another one coming out Friday, so I'll post that too, because I thought the lectures weren't half bad. And I'll check out free content usually.
Cool.
But it was all right. I don't know how much depth it's going to go to in the free stuff, but it was kind of interesting. And then I'll show you what I've been working on. So I was working on a couple things. I went back to the block game, the block rolling game, like I said I was going to. Can I share this? And I have many things on my list.
I was wondering when you were going to go back to this.
It was time to go back, and I will show you. So I worked on kind of the smaller piece last week. I spent maybe a day and a half on it, which may be too long. I don't know, but I hadn't done this before, which was simply mouse selection and highlighting. So you could not do this before. I could only use the space bar to change my block selection. You can see it. Well, hopefully you can see that it's highlighting the blocks as I mouse over them, and then if I click on one, it'll change the selection. So you can now select with the mouse the blocks, and it wasn't too bad once I got into it and kind of understood what was going on. So that was good. And if anyone in the stream here, I probably haven't seen this before, but this is a simple block rolling game, and you're trying to move the goal part here onto, really, maybe this is the goal, but you're trying to move this onto this.
Yeah.
The bunch of movements, by rolling the block. So then the next thing I was working on is I'm kind of, my ultimate goal, I guess, is there's a new kind of piece that I want to have, which is a piece that would, if you have a couple of blocks, basically, if there was well, I can't point to them, but if there is a piece and the two pieces and they hit next to each other, oh, wow, that's interesting.
It lets you roll them into each other.
It normally, you can see it here, it doesn't. But I think maybe I need to check I did that one time. But the idea is there would be a mechanism whereby this could become one big block.
Ah, they'd connect up.
Right, and then they'd roll together. And that would create new puzzle possibilities. So in order to do that, I'm kind of reworking the level generation. So I have most of that code written. I've been debugging it. I haven't put it into place yet, but that's what I'm working on. And then there will be another method to actually take the blocks apart. There will be another piece, but
okay.
That's going to give me significant more puzzle levels.
Variability, yeah.
Yep, they give some new ideas. So that's what I was working on.
Sweet.
And it was, it was easier than I thought, really, to use the raycast to find the pieces. It was a little more complex in this case because the blocks are made up of individual cubes and they have individual faces. So, I had to make some code that's going to go up the hierarchy and find then a tag and select at that level. So it wasn't quite as obvious as it could have been, but it was still not too bad.
Did you want to go over any of that code?
We could. Let me see here. Where did I put it? I didn't have it ready because I wasn't.
You weren't expecting I'd put you on the spot.
But it is kind of all in one class, so I guess I can kind of look at it. It's not, it's not distributed among everything else. For some reason, okay. The window likes to go away. It's pretty much all in this mouse input class here. Let me pull it up. Because I do think it's kind of interesting. It's definitely something that I'll be using again. This is something I would think you'd want to use in a lot of different projects. And did I not pull it up? Why not? Okay. So, pretty simply here, in the update, I'm tracking the mouse position and doing array from here, the camera, right, to the mouse position.
Do you have your source code over there on the screen?
Oh, hold on. Let me, apparently is not on the screen. Let me see how I'm getting in a window entire screen. Okay, let me go here. This should do it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not terribly hard. There's a vector to track the mouse position. Over here, and this is all in the pretty much everything here is happening in the update, right? Because it's got to check it continuously. And then I've got array here, and it points from the we got the camera and we got screen point to array and we got the mouse position.
So it's showing where you're pointing at on the screen.
Yeah, array from the camera to the mouse position, and then I'm checking over here. I'm just setting this flag to false, and then I'm checking. Okay, is it over a game object? Is it not over a game object, which is like a UI object in this case? But is it hitting? Hitting, and then we're getting the position of the hit, and then that is a transform that I'm capturing. So, the raycast hit dot transform is going to give you the transform of the object you're hitting. And then pretty much, if that's true, we're going through, and this while is going up to the parent list until it finds this block parent tag, and then that's going to be the object, and then it's going to highlight it. And then there's just something real similar down here when you click on the object, which obviously is going to select it instead of just highlight it. Okay. So it's not too tough. And the actual highlight portion and selection portion is over in another piece of code that handles those blocks. But that's kind of it. It's easier than I thought it was going to be.
Cool. Is there already a function like find object in parent or something?
There's get component and parent.
Yeah,
There,
I think,
there is, yeah.
yeah, you could probably just add like an interface with no implementation to the parent object or something.
The reason I didn't do that is because this is not always directly the parent, right? So
Oh, okay.
sometimes this is nested more than one level down,
Oh,
which is
okay, got it.
why I have a while loop.
Well, I thought that the get component and parent would go all the way up. I don't know. Maybe
think-
maybe it does.
I
know.
assumed it was the parent, I guess.
Okay.
And there's also the case that I don't want it to go beyond a certain level. Like once it finds that tag, I want it to stop no matter what. Anyway, so that was kind of it.
Yeah. Well, cool. Manny, you got anything to show? Yep, you're muted.
There we go. I'm back.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm spooling something up I want to demo, but I want to give a shout out first. I posted a link to a YouTuber called Sam Yam. She does some very good tutorials, and she has a whole series on the Unity input system, which is probably the best series that I've
Most
seen
people
on
have
that.
no clue that in 2023
It's
the
clear
best
it takes you to all the places that you wondered about, like rebinding controls and actually using touch inputs, and then it shows practical examples of using the new input system for things like point and click games and drag games and that type of thing. So very nice, worth checking out. And then if I can get my demo going, which will probably take about a minute, there's a Unity store asset called Player Prefs Editor.
Yep.
By BG Tools. It's a free tool, and it's not a spectacular tool, but it's something that's been needed for a long time. Because every time I work with player prefs, it's sort of like a black box. If you don't do debug.logs to find out what's actually going on, you're working blind, and this tool has just helped me immensely. So I can't show it right now. Wait, maybe I can. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, I can just show what it looks like. Let me share.
That the demo you were talking about with the input system, is that the new input system? Oh,
That's the new input system. Yeah.
it's 2 years old. Right?
Yeah, it's 2 years old, but it's still the best one I could find.
Okay. Okay, cool.
It's also aged very well. Okay, can you see this?
Yep.
All right, to access this, it's quite easy. You just go Tools, you go BG Tools Player Prefs Editor. And in here, it picks up all your Player Prefs keys with the values, and you can actually change them. So if you want to see if your Player Prefs are working correctly and loading correctly at setup, you can change everything and add keys and take them away. And it just works. It just works.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but player prefs is always a bit of a pain for me.
Yeah, no, that's true. And the other thing too is if you really want to load, test your loading procedures, right? Because they should be there already. Then you have to write code to populate them. Here, now you can do it. Now you can do it manually. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll probably cover that in my
populate
audio tutorial too. So when you change your mixing levels, you can save on the player prefs and then load them when you start up. And I'll probably abstract it too. So if you want to swap out player prefs for, maybe some cloud-based storage or something, you could do that. But that's cool that you can just edit them right there in the editor. That's very useful. I'm going to definitely have to pull that in.
Something that's useful about the Unity mixer as well is that you can do ducking. I don't know if you're going to cover that as well.
Elaborate.
Ducking is where you have one sound or you have one channel and use it as a signal, and another channel can detect it. So let's say you've got game music.
Oh, for like for a compressor, and you want to do voiceover over your music in it to pull your music down as you talk. And yeah, okay, gotcha.
That's it. That's it.
So you use it as a signal chain into your other effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can set the ducking parameters by how much you want your music to be softer than your sound effects,
Yeah.
and then when the sound effects are gone, the music comes back up, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
You can also, I'll probably cover like make environmental changes too. Like if you walk in a cave, everything gets kind of like reverby and stuff, and then when you walk out, it's open and I'll probably like in one of the advanced tutorials, like if I'm playing footstep sounds, do raycast down to see what material I'm running on. And then if I'm running on wood, play a footstep on wood sound. If I'm running on gravel, play a footstep on gravel sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's going to be awesome.
it's fun stuff.
Now that's different sounds. Have you done? This is what I'm wondering about. Like, let's say your gun is shooting or something, but you're making a noise. Can you make it sound like different in a cave than in open air?
Yeah,
other than
absolutely.
like a filter instead of like
Yeah.
playing a different file.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about with the environmental stuff.
Okay, cool.
So I'll probably have like colliders, sphere colliders or something. So when you enter a certain range of this, you go into like the proximity of a cave, I'll set some filters or parameters on that audio channel. Like I'll crank up reverb, whatever effects I want to have while you're in that environment. And then probably show how you can do like 3D spatial stuff too, so that if you're wearing headphones, you can hear sounds coming from different places. And as you get away from them, they get softer, and you get closer, they get louder. All of that stuff.
Cool.
Start very, very basic, and then just gradually get more advanced. So it'll be a series of videos. And hopefully none of them will be too terribly long. I can show you all the environment that I'm playing around with. The project I'm putting together that I'm going to use for my audio tutorial. Let's see, share a window. It doesn't seem to want to let me pick a window. Let me share my entire screen then. So you can see this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and set this to play maximized. So the environment that I'm using here is a nature manufacturer environment called their graveyard. I think it's called Graveyard PBR. And then I'm using an Infinity PBR Goblin character. And then I'm using this Orc Horde character. I got a bug in their animation where it's not triggering their run animation when they start moving towards me. But they'll come after me and they'll attack me. And then they'll go back to like their patrol position when I go out of range. So let's see if I get close. He comes running towards me. So he's just sliding around. So he's got a run animation, but for some reason it's not. It immediately goes away from the run animation back to his idle animation. But I really like this environment. They've got like a cool chapel up here. There's some cool lighting and stuff up here.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'll put links in the description for all these assets. So, yeah, there's a Nature Manufacturer asset. There's the Infinity PBR assets. There's this Orc Horde asset pack. And then there's all the music and sound effects I'm going to be using are from different asset packs as well. So, I'll put links to all those things in the description so people can check them out. So, yeah, I'll be wiring up sound effects. Well, first I'll start off with music, and I'll have just peaceful music. So when you're just exploring around, and I'll show how you can shuffle different songs randomly and never repeat one until they've all played. And then if you transition to combat, it'll smoothly transition between the two mixes and play, random combat music. once I cover that, I'll do a sound effects video to show how I can have like the footstep sounds, attack sounds, getting hit, dying, all those different kind of sound effects. And like I said, gradually build on it, get more and more complex over time. Jason Wyman says, Git component in parent does a recursive search up the tree. Checks on the current object first, though, but will return the first one it finds on the way up. So you could just decorate your parent block with an interface, and then you could say Git component in parent for that interface, and it'll find that one.
If there's a certain component, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, if you know there's one that you want to be the parent that you're looking for, you could just decorate it. Like you're putting a tag on it now, right?
Yep.
So if you just put an interface on it, you could just use that to go up the tree. I think what you did is fine. I'm just throwing that out as an alternative.
Yeah, like if I probably wouldn't do that unless I already had a component on it, but yeah, that makes sense.
Who else has something they want to share? Well, I will mention, I know, Manny, you like Fmod. So I'll probably do a video on Fmod as well. Because that is a very capable package. But I really want to cover how you can do all this stuff just rolling your own. And then show how you can accomplish a lot of this stuff using Fmod too. And if people aren't familiar, Fmod is another asset store pack. I'll put a link for that in the description as well. I'm really glad we got all this audio stuff straightened out.
Me too. Yeah, I have to say, in regards to Fmod and some of the asset packs, it's good to save time with asset packs, but a lot of times you learn more by rolling your own. And sometimes you just can't find exactly what you want. And then it's good to be able to do that kind of thing.
That's true. Yep. I like to, if it's something I just want to have an environment to work in and I don't want to do all the work of throwing stuff together, to pull in asset packs like I did for this project here. But yeah, it is a good way to learn, to try to figure out how to do things on your own and struggle, with the trial and error. Here's how I think it'll work. Okay, that's not working. Let me ask ChatGPT. Okay, that's almost it. Let me tweak that a little bit. And I have really, really been enjoying GitHub Copilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's stuff I know how to do, but I don't want to go look it up. I just put a comment in my code, like rotate towards player. Boom, it gives me 2 lines. All I have to do is hit tab, and there it is.
You have just gained 5 extra years of experience.
Yep. Well, this might be a short meeting if you all don't have anything else you want to share or talk about.
I got when we have a moment, I got a question I'll ask because
Go for it.
So I was kind of looking ahead a little. Well, when I was doing the mouse selection, like one of the next things that was going to come up was going to be mouse swipes, right?
Okay.
Because my movement is pretty much, left, right, up, down as far as the blocks go. So I saw that there was some kind of a swipe function or listener, in the new system, but I'm not using the new system.
Yeah, I wonder if that's only for mobile. I haven't played with that.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought of it. I just saw it, and someone said it was the new input system. But so far, I'm not using the new input system. So I went and looked for tutorials. I should, but I hate to change in the middle of a project. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of the things where I want to go, okay, let me get this project down, and then I'll figure it out for the next one. Mm-hmm. So I went and looked at a couple of tutorials, and they were not helpful.
Okay.
And well, to me, like I looked at them and I was like, okay, well that seems terrible. And the reason why is because they were only looking for swipes. Like they were limited to, hey, if you want to look for left and right swipes only, just look for mouse movement. And then if you've moved the mouse to the right, 1 pixel or 1,000 pixels, that counts as a swipe.
Mhm.
And I'm looking for something that's more defined.
Like
And I
you
was
want to
curious
swipe multiple directions?
Well, like I want to limit it. I want to say, okay, well, if you swipe to the right and it's in a motion that's reasonable for a swipe and not just like you accidentally move the mouse this much, then I want to count it as a swipe to the right, but I want to have left, right, up, down. And if you put it in a circle, I don't want it to be, oh well, it ended up down, so now it's down. I want it to limit it to a reasonably straight line. And I'm pretty sure I know how to do that, but I thought, someone here might have some experience or they might not. And I thought I'd ask the question.
I think Manny found something.
Yeah, actually, not to plug Sam Yam again, but I was going into this week. One of the videos in that series that I talked about is a video for swipe detection. And what she does there is she has a little trail renderless. So you've got this little slash effect. And she basically manipulates the new input system to detect the start of your touch and then the end of the touch, and determines the direction and the length of the touch from there, and uses that as the swipe. I don't know if that's gonna solve your problem.
That's about what I want, but right now, I'm using the mouse. At some point, I want to.
Well, I think so. She's using on start touch. I think you could do on mouse down. You can find the equivalent. I think for the old system, and
that was kind of my plan is use the mouse detection.
Yeah.
The mouse has the on button down, and it's got the down,
and the up.
The mouse during the frame button during the frame, and then the function for the mouse button up. So you can use that, and it's also if you're working on a canvas, it's got that eye drag handler, which has the phases for the drag that you can use.
Right.
I'm not sure.
In this case, I'm not going to drag, but I've done that with the last project.
Well, even if you're not doing a drag, you probably use the on drag handler, like on end drag, and then see how far you dragged and determine if it's a swipe or not.
Oh, I gotcha. I was just going to save the value, but yeah, that's true. I could do that.
Yeah, there's a number of ways you could skin this cat.
It's not something that it sounded super hard to me, but I was like, I haven't done it, and maybe someone will have experience with it.
Yep. Cool. Well, anybody have anything else?
Nah, sorry.
Not today.
These last 2 weeks have been mostly updating old apps and doing some stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about right now. So yeah.
Got it. Well, I am just going to real quick do a shameless plug. If you haven't already, head over to my Steam page and wishlist Highland Panic. This is my real-time cross-platform multiplayer card game that I'm going to be releasing on Steam, the Apple App Store, and Google Play. I'll put a link for that in the description as well. In fact, I think there's already a link for that in the description.
What was the date for that?
Sometime in October. I'm probably just going to release it no matter how many wish lists I have, and just, however it does, that's how it does. Oh, by the way, speaking of, I was thinking of doing some kind of an ad promotion for it when I go to release. Well, I did another ad promotion for my YouTube channel. This time I'm doing YouTube ads because I finally met the threshold where I can get like memberships and super chats and stuff like that. And I saw popped up sponsorships. I think that's what it was called. And so I thought, well, or promotions, not promotions. So I clicked on promotions and I created an ad promotion, and I just pointed to my 3D space shooter tutorial. I went from 1,200 to like 1,800 subscriptions in 2 days.
Oh,
Oh,
And I've gotten like 3,000 or 4,000 views on that video, where I normally get like a couple hundred in a 48-hour period.
Mhm.
So
so
that's
so this is what was the difference between this and the other?
the other one was
advertising?
just a Google Ads campaign. This is a YouTube Ads promotion.
Cool.
And so apparently, whoever it's showing it to, these people are not clicking away. And it's netting a bunch of new subscribers. I mean, I was totally shocked when I checked my analytics yesterday, and I was like, "What the heck?" I mean, like, how did I get like 300-400 subscriptions overnight? And then same thing happened this morning, and it seems to be like between a 3 and 4 p.m. time slot that all of these views and subscriptions are coming in, which is kind of interesting if I'm reading the analytics correctly.
is there
What-
some documentation what the requirements are to apply for that?
Well, there is. I haven't really dug into it, but and I gave it a very limited scope and a very limited budget too, so I didn't want to rack up a ton of advertising expenses. I had a little bit of budget. I said I'm going to play with this and see what happens, because the last one was very disappointing. The Google Ads campaign. But
Mhm.
I don't know. This is promising. I mean,
Wait.
I'll probably have 2,000 subscribers in the next day or two at the rate this is going. And I mean, I just got 1,000 just like a couple weeks ago,
Right.
When did you start your
like 2 days
YouTube
ago.
ad campaign?
Like
2 days ago.
Yeah,
Not bad.
yeah. I
bad,
was astonished. Let me see if I can share the analytics here.
And were those ads more expensive than the other ones, or
Well, so I gave it a budget over a period of time. So it's just however long I want it to run them. And then, so it's totally up to the budget. It's not, let's see.
okay? Would you say these are more effective per dollar then?
Well, the results are more effective for sure. So,
Well,
I mean,
I'm saying per amount that you spent. Would you say these are much better?
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. So, I mean, these are over the last 28 days, if I switched back to like the last 7 days, 232 to 1,557 views. And then subscribers,
Yeah.
those
Wow,
are
yeah.
new subscribers. So, and that doesn't include today, right? So, and then look at the views on this video. And my average view is between 1 and 300 views over a 48-hour period. Look at that. So, yeah, that ad campaign definitely seems to be working.
If I remember right, the last ad was kind of marginal. Like it didn't double it.
Not at all. Not at all.
This is multiple times. That's awesome.
So, I'll probably suspend this one in a couple of days and then keep that in mind for when I release my Steam game and create an ad campaign for that and see what happens. And I don't know if Jason's still on the stream, but Jason, my Xbox Game Pass access to Starfield woke up today, and so I was able to boot it up. I haven't really done much with it, but I can play it now.
Then I can play it too. Woohoo.
Yeah, so when I got my new laptop that I use for if I want to do any development in my recliner, it came with a free 3-month subscription to Xbox Game Pass. And I'd never activated it until just a couple days ago, just so I could try Starfield. So.
Oh,
Oh, any closing
you-
words? Or
Enjoy your
Yeah.
Starfield.
you were going to say something, Manny?
no, I was just going to ask what your thoughts were, but I think you haven't really played Starfield yet.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of a playthrough that Jason Wyman did. and it looked pretty fun. I mean, it looks like it combines a lot of elements of role playing and first person shooter stuff, plus space exploration and stuff. So
Yeah,
all genres that I like.
I just saw an article of one reporter tried to fly to a planet in Starfield, and basically space and the planets are two different worlds. When you get to a planet, it loads the planet. You can't actually fly onto it. And they just flew into an empty globe, I think, and hid there.
Oh,
which was funny. But I've read that the NVIDIA guys are not quite getting the performance they want on Starfield compared.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah, the AMD stuff looks like it's optimized for. Can't remember AMD, one of the AMD chipsets that's optimized for. But yeah.
Well, that might be a factor for me. I don't know. I haven't noticed. I haven't done enough with it to really see what the performance is like.
Oh well, you can let us know.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, that's it for me. I'm off.
All right. Klaus, Jeff, anything?
Nope. Thanks.
Nope.
Thanks.
All right. Well,
Have a good week.
it was a good meeting. See y'all next week.
Yeah, have a nice week.
All righty.
You have a good
Take
one.
care.
See y'all.